Welcome to an overview of the Hammurabi investigation. In this investigation, you're trying to figure out how to respond to the question, what was important to King Hammurabi? Today, as you begin learning about King Hammurabi, instead of memorizing names and dates from a textbook, which is really hard and not particularly interesting, you will instead read and hear several different perspectives. You'll discuss with your classmates and then make your own decision about what it all means. Read, inquire, write lessons are called investigations. Throughout each investigation, you're looking for evidence to figure out how to respond to a central question. You'll notice that our investigations never say answer a central question. Instead, you'll hear us ask you to respond to a central question. That's because we believe there is not one right answer. There could be multiple answers. So we want you to respond to the question with evidence. Read, inquire, write investigations support you in building a case for your argument using evidence and reasoning. Over time, this kind of work will strengthen your reading, writing, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. So in this investigation, you're trying to respond to the central question, what was important to King Hammurabi? But who was Hammurabi? Hammurabi was a king, and his laws are the longest and best organized set of laws from Mesopotamia. You can see these laws in this picture here. The laws are written on a stele, which is displayed at the Louvre, a famous museum in Paris, France. The laws are over 4,000 years old. There, in the museum exhibit, the curators have provided information about King Hammurabi to visitors. And now the curators at the Louvre want to add a new section. They have written an argument about what they believe was important to Hammurabi. Your job is to write an email to the Louvre and critique the problems you see with their argument about what was important to Hammurabi. This is called a critique. A critique is a type of argument that responds to someone else's argument by pointing out what may be wrong with it and why. So you are going to read what the Louvre argues is important to Hammurabi, and then you will write an email and critique any problems you see. You will have to include evidence and reasoning to support your argument. Our investigation guides you to develop your argument step by step. Let's review those steps now. First, you'll begin by making connections with some concepts that you already know. For example, you'll think about the rules of your house, and then you'll consider how these rules might be similar to the laws created by Hammurabi. Then we'll offer some important background information about King Hammurabi. You'll learn things like, who was Hammurabi? Where did he live? When was he alive? And how do we even know this? This is useful information to help you determine what was important to him. Next, your teacher will provide you with different sources to read about King Hammurabi. You'll use these sources to develop the argument you want to make about him. To help you read these sources, your teacher will provide you with this bookmark. The bookmark tool will help you understand, analyze, and evaluate sources about Hammurabi. The bookmark prompts you to make annotations or detailed notes about the sources. You'll do this as you read and after you read. For example, in this source, you can see that a student has circled and boxed important information related to Hammurabi and the source that shares this information. The student also made notes about what those circles and boxes mean. You will do the same on your sources, and the bookmark tool will guide you. Making these annotations is really important because they will help you remember key ideas in the sources. This way, you don't have to try to remember everything or have to reread everything later. Instead, these annotations will make it easier to write your email because you will use them as you write your email to the Louvre. In step 3, you will read and analyze a mentor text. A mentor text is a sample of writing that shows you one way to organize and write a critique-style argument. It includes important parts such as claim, evidence, and reasoning. It's a good example of the way you can structure your own email to the Louvre. Just remember that the mentor text is not exactly what you'll write, and it is not a source. The mentor text is one example of what your essay might look like. Next, you'll use the planning graphic organizer. The graphic organizer is like a roadmap for your essay. It helps you organize your ideas about what's important to Hammurabi, and it will prompt you to give evidence and reasoning to support your argument. You will use all of the work you've done so far to help you develop this roadmap. You'll look at your annotated sources, and you'll determine what argument you think is strongest, and then make decisions to plan the essay you'll write. Then, in step 5, you're ready to write your essay and respond to the central question, what was important to King Hammurabi? Be sure to use the sources you have read to write your email to the Louvre. We know it's sometimes difficult to start writing. That's why we also include a useful language tool. You can look at this tool to choose from examples of how to start your claim, evidence, and reasoning. Finally, after you have spent some time writing, pause to use the reflection tool. The reflection tool will help you review what you have written so far and set goals for your next steps. The reflection tool reminds you about what to include in your argument. Let's quickly review the 6 steps you'll take throughout this investigation. First, make connections and build background. Second, read and analyze sources using the bookmark tool. Third, analyze the mentor text. Fourth, complete the planning graphic organizer, deciding on the argument you will make. Fifth, use the useful language tool as you draft your essay. And sixth, review and improve your essay using the reflection tool. As you work through the investigation, make sure to talk with your classmates and others who can support you as you learn about and respond to the central question, what was important to King Hammurabi? Good luck!